All right, let's start this over again. I'm gonna keep this short today. I don't feel well. I thought I got food poisoning yesterday, so really I'm not feeling well. Okay, November 23rd, 22 was my grandson's birthday. The twins. On the way over there, I went to Walmart West Tusk. So a bunch of guys pulled in and screamed, Karen's ex-husband got away with attempted murder. And because of this, and no one's to say a word to her. The only reason why he gets away with attempted murder is because you don't want to do your job. You go back and get him. I went in Walmart West Tusk. Nobody said a word. It was nice. I went and visited my grandchildren. I went and stopped at Walmart 62 on the way home. People walked up to me. We all heard that man make fun of us for falling for this, and no one will ever say a word to you again. Okay. Well, Thanksgiving, everything seemed to be closed. So I ordered food. Just a few restaurants were open. Made a mistake doing that one. Went and worked. And when I got home at 8, within 2 hours, I was violently sick in the emergency room at Mercy Medical on November 24th, 22, Thanksgiving Day. I'm in there. A nurse walks out, and there's a lady out there, and they're talking. Said that Eric made fun of us, and we all heard him. The Eric you're looking for. November 18, 22, Walmart 62, by the hair salon, screaming how it was his idea to say they taped me before for all these people to turn on me, and they actually fell for it. And he thought it was funny that they actually fell for it, and some guys laughing with him, is that what's going on, and where they photoshopped a shower scene, I guess, with their stocking tapes and their date rape drugs confessions, where I woke up with bruises and I was sick. It's not funny doing that to a human being. It's attempted murder and kidnapping and stalking. They're wanted by the Massillon and Canton police. So if they want them, November 1822, Walmart 62, between 2 and 6. He walks by. They got big old cameras, tape and audio inside the hair salon and right outside in the entrance, and he's screaming it. Okay. Now going back to November 24, 22. At Mercy Medical, they're outside my room talking about, I don't want anybody to do anything else to her. I found out nobody actually said anything bad about her. They made up everything. They did. They've been telling people that for over a year. December 2nd to 3rd, there was an African American lady said she was going to extort money out of the toxic water. And she showed up at Save-A-Lot and told everybody in there. They made up everything. They told Ed at the Oakland apartment on Cleveland Avenue, December 9th, 21 at 4 p.m., that all the tapes were them and not me. And they're just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. The guy at the Hunger Task Force, white man, bald with dark eyes, December 9th, 21, Stark County Hunger Task Force, 9th Street, came out. Now, he worked the case. We always knew the tapes before were them and not her, so we never said a word. I've never even been questioned of wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been found guilty. Where they run around telling people I have charges. They made everything up for people's low IQ. People act like they're in the ghettos of New York, living in tiny apartments, and that they're too lazy to go get a job at a grocery store, and they'd rather kill you for your shoes, your purse. And I live in a middle-class community with nice apartments. And these people will kill you for a cell phone, a shirt, or an ice cream. It's that bad. But where that guy made fun of him for helping out in this and falling for it, now they don't think it's funny. Because he was in there mocking him, laughing as loud as he could. And they sold a login to the case. See that agent that called me back? And one of Dave's girlfriends was his daughter. See, even though FBI can work anywhere in the United States on a regular basis, they only have a certain jurisdiction. Okay? Unless they're called out, they're only over a certain area. I lived in Portage County. It should have went to Akron. Okay? No way in hell should a Canton courthouse FBI task force ever get my case. Shouldn't even know about it. When I called the hotline, should have went straight to Akron. So what the hell was he doing calling me back? And then badger me into a false statement. Oh, that's another thing they said outside the room in Mercy Medical on November 24, 22. Some of those people, because that man badgered her into saying she was lying, they were getting even to her. You don't get even with the victim that got bullied into a false statement. That means you're part of it. You get the man for badgering. Badgering is obstruction to justice and tampering with evidence. It's 5 to 7 years. You arrest him. You know why you get even with the victim? Because you're part of it. They said some of those were getting even with me because that man badgered me. You don't get, that's like getting even with the rape victim, the extortion victim. You don't get even with victims unless you're part of it. My one friend that worked for the prosecutor's office said they had problems in Stark County, Ohio, that they were doing backdoor deals to let people get victimized and killed. Mm-hmm. And people were taking payouts for it. So that's what happened here. Well, what's really bad, okay, there's a young blonde girl at Faith Family Church, okay, said her dad was FBI, he was working the case. She's the one, the pea sweater girl, where I was on the toilet in Ravenna, and I stood up, my sweater fell down, and I pushed my sleeve up before I flushed it. Well, I'm OCD, so I took my sweater off, washed my arm up to my elbow, and rechanged my sweater. She showed up at church and called me, don't sit by her, she has a pea sweater on. No, I didn't, I changed my sweater. She also made fun of me in front of people that she had me raped. I'm glad they beat her. Can you have those men beat and rape somebody for us? Yeah, sure, I can just ask him. Okay, my dad's FBI, he works the case. Then she acted like she dated Dave. My one friend from my church, I was at Wakeham. He was talking to his coworker. He said, her ex-husband is showing tapes of her being beat really bad. He was talking about the being raped. He said, and I find it repulsive beating women. He said, I'm going to put his nuts through his throat. He said, he tries to show it to me. I'll put his nuts through his throat. And he said, no officer can arrest me because they all know he had it done to her and they didn't arrest him. They can't not arrest him. See, this has got to the point everybody ought to be on the FBI submitted tip, get the FBI from out of this area to swarm down here and arrest all these people. And the officers not doing their jobs. Yeah. Because this isn't funny. They said the agent that called me back is the one that told on me at that church November 6, 22 at Central Baptist, a lady working the case. That it was, some guy told her that agent that called me back is the one that told on me at that church. It was him. But, yeah. And then I got to thinking how mean, I told you how mean he was. And about trying to give a statement about Huntington Bank and then call me a liar and threaten to arrest me if I didn't say I was lying and screaming at me till I said it. That's badgering. It's obstruction to justice, tampering with evidence, and he goes to jail for it. It's 5 to 7 years. See, they should have arrested him. And that Stark County sheriff, because when people went, my God, I had an FBI agent, my office is right there. He actually pointed at Stark County sheriff. And that they went and talked to that officer, and he did verify that agent told on me the night before. So, I mean, everybody ought to be on FBI submitted tip help Karen. And yeah, and they need to get down here and out of this area in the Department of Justice submitted tip. That agent for his family, they have been yelling out, is that idiot trying to steal everything from her life for his family. See, one thing I did want to bring up too, that agent set up, now when you go into an informant program, it's sort of like Social Security, okay? They set up a account for you to have money to live on. In case you can't work, you don't want to work, you're too upset because you've been a victim of a violent crime or a witness of one, okay? They give you supplementary income for the rest of your life. It's sort of like Social Security. They only give you 60 grand a year to live on. It's not a lot. It's middle to lower class. You can work if you want and have that for extra or whatever, but it's your supplementary income for being a victim of a violent crime or a witness of one and for testifying against them. Okay? So I'm supposed to be getting supplementary income for the rest of my life. I'm supposed to have been getting it for 4 years. That lady was talking last Sunday on, what was it? The 20th of November at Central Baptist about that count, that they want that money and that they thought it would come out of their budget. It doesn't come out of their budget. It comes out of headquarters. And headquarters, if they need more money, they get it from Congress. If you don't pay it off, you end up getting extortion, racketeering, charges. You can't steal somebody's basically Social Security and their supplementary income from working a case. I haven't got paid in 4 years. He promised me $5,000 a month at 60 grand a year, and I haven't got it. And they said they're trying to take it, the agents in this area. Someone needs to get someone down here, and they need to help. Where these people, where they said where that guy made fun of all of them for helping out and falling for it, nobody finds any of this funny. Then get on, FBI submit a tip, Department of Justice submit a tip. It's not funny. See, I actually called the 1-800 line. That agent actually opened a protected life case. They have them dead to rights like the Amish men with the beards hurting me in a main database for protected home custodies. It's the only time anybody can be in your home. Protected life custodies, and they have to speak to everyone before they start. So 4th Amendment, right to privacy. 5th, right to remain quiet. 6th, to an attorney. 7th, to a fair court trial, bail, and bond. 8th, not to be mistreated. And you have a freedom of speech. First one. See where people run around. For every constitutional right broke, it's 1 to 10. 1 to 10 for conflict of interest. And Dave was supposed to be dating that agent's daughter. Dave my ex-husband had 17 girlfriends in high school, said he gave up that life for God. He didn't. He was dating several women up there with influential parents, and then we're helping pay for this crap. See, I told you, I went November, 13th, I went to my son Danny's, and we were talking, and I about died laughing. Why on earth would anybody badmouth you, Karen? I'm looking at him. And they would be at Pinocchio. They better have extra shorts. As if you would do anything wrong. My daughter-in-law, Jen. And then Danny's like, well, you have your CCW, don't you? Mom's like, yeah, and I have my notary, and I just got my med certs for passing meds. And she's looking at me, and she's like, you can't even have an accusation if you take care of people. It's a form of nursing. And I said, I know. She's like, why would they even fall for that? These were the people they lied on. You talk about Satan being the author of confusion. They told everybody they were helping Dave, my ex-husband and his girlfriend, get everything by lying on me, had an attorney helping going after me. And they were going to do this and they were going to do that. So I went and talked to them. And they knew nothing. They knew nothing. They lied on them. And then they lied on me about the shower scene to cause a great big chaos. And they knew nothing. I about died laughing. I didn't say anything because it wasn't worth saying, but it was funny. And yeah, people pulled in the next day with my day hab. They really didn't know anything. It is just the people hurting her. And then where November 18, 22, Walmart 62 on a Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. that Eric's showing up outside the hair salon screaming how he made it up that they taped me before. And he thought it was funny that everybody fell for it, went along with it, and helped him. And some guy's laughing at that. What's going on? Yeah, and they're mocking all these people for helping. Where they kicked in my door and they were stalking me. They photoshopped the shower scene. They admitted they photoshopped it by more than 10 people. Went to the Canton Police and other investigators. And they date rape drugged me where I had bruises and I was sick. And tell me to say something stupid under amnesia drugs. It's attempted murder and kidnapping with attempted extortion. It's not funny. Someone needs to arrest these violent criminals. And just because an agent's involved, because Dave was dating his daughter out of his area, doesn't give them the right to get away with this. If an FBI agent drinks and drives, a local police officer arrest him. If he robs a gas station, a bank, they'll arrest him. He breaks in and stalks somebody, they'll arrest him. Because he is just a higher police officer, and the day that he does a crime, he loses his status and his badge. And they arrest him and they process him. That's how not funny this is. They have been mocking these people like crazy for falling for this.